Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. As if things weren't bad enough for the Romalotti family, what with Heather's untimely demise, it appears as though the situation will soon become far, far worse. And after what happens next, Phyllis will positively lose her mind. As all young and restless characters should know by now, especially Sharon, if you mess with Daniel, you will have to contend with his mother. Now that's trouble on a whole other level. Unfortunately, Sharon didn't have the luxury of time after killing Heather. She had to determine her next steps on the fly, and whilst the battle continued to rage within her own mind, the late baddie Cameron Kirsten has been living rent-free in Sharon's subconscious, and was the driving force behind her decision to make Daniel pay for the life he took, her daughter Cassie, by framing him for the murder of his lady love, Heather. One would think offing his life partner would have satisfied the thirst for revenge. But here we are. Sharon planted the bloody towels she used to clean up at the scene of the crime, as well as Heather's cell phone, from which she'd been texting Daniel, in the poor guy's liquor cabinet. Stock up on luxurious bath towels, $35.99 plus. Buy now on Amazon. We predict that old Chance is going to wish he'd never stepped foot back in the GCPD once he realizes he has to arrest the grieving man who just happens to be his girlfriend's brother. Even worse, he'll have to deal with Phyllis, who will undoubtedly go scorched earth. It's a foregone conclusion that Phyllis will absolutely lose her mind when Chance slaps the cuffs on her son and accuses him of killing the woman he loved. Yes, kids, things are gonna get ugly. Considering that Red is already fuming at Sharon for upsetting Heather and her family before the death, she's bound to go after her former rival, which could trigger Sharon to act out. And, well, we shudder to think of how badly awry all of this could go. So, how ugly will it get? We asked Michelle Stafford just how far Phyllis would go to protect Daniel, and her answer came as no surprise whatsoever. Oh, all the way. She would walk through fire to protect Heather of her kids. Any parent would. If they were drowning in the ocean and she couldn't swim, she would dive in to save him anyway. Why is Phyllis such a fierce mama bear? Stafford explains. In part, that's because nobody went all the way for her. In some ways, that's at the heart of her brokenness. That's how I justify it in my mind. We can't always condone Phyllis' methods, and there's no doubt she'll make matters worse before they get better. But if there's one thing we're confident of, it's that Red won't stop fighting until she helps Daniel beat the false allegations against him. In the bustling world of Genoa City, secrets and rivalries simmer beneath the surface, and few are as heated as the ongoing feud between Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman. As the two women navigate their complicated lives, one question looms large. Will Phyllis go after Sharon, or will their contentious history lead to a different kind of confrontation? Phyllis, the fiery and unapologetic businesswoman, has always been known for her tenacity. When it comes to matters of the heart, she plays to win. Her tumultuous past with Nick Newman, Sharon's ex-husband and the father of her children, adds another layer to their rivalry. With Nick recently rekindling his relationship with Sharon, Phyllis finds herself in a precarious position. Sharon, on the other hand, embodies a quieter strength. Her nurturing nature often masks her resilience, but when pushed, she can stand her ground. The heart-wrenching history with Nick and the emotional scars of their on-again, off-again relationship weigh heavily on her, making her cautious yet determined. As Sharon seeks stability in her life, Phyllis's reemergence into Nick's orbit threatens to disrupt that peace. The tension escalates when Phyllis and Sharon find themselves at the same charity event, a gala aimed at raising funds for mental health awareness, an issue both women have personal ties to. The atmosphere is electric, filled with laughter, conversation, and the occasional clash of wills. As Phyllis enters the room, her presence commands attention, and she wastes no time scanning the crowd for Nick. Spotting him with Sharon, her expression hardens, and the gears of her mind start turning. "What are you doing here, Phyllis?" Sharon asks, her voice steady but laced with an undercurrent of tension. "I could ask you the same thing," Phyllis replies, a smirk playing at the corners of her lips. "Shouldn't you be at home, waiting for your ex-husband to remember you exist?" The words hang in the air, thick with unspoken history. Sharon's eyes narrow, But she takes a deep breath, refusing to rise to the bait. Instead, she offers a tight smile. I'm here for a good cause, unlike some people who just want to stir up trouble. As the evening progresses, the tension between Phyllis and Sharon becomes palpable. Guests mingle, unaware of the brewing storm. When Phyllis takes to the stage to give a speech, she skillfully weaves in references to resilience and overcoming obstacles, her gaze frequently darting to Sharon. The message is clear. She's not backing down. Sharon, feeling the heat of the moment, stands up after Phyllis's speech. While I appreciate the sentiment, I believe in building others up, not tearing them down, she states, her voice steady but firm. The audience is captivated, the energy shifting as whispers ripple through the crowd. Phyllis, not one to back down, retorts, maybe if you were more honest with yourself, you wouldn't feel the need to put others down just to feel better. After the event, the stakes rise when Nick pulls Phyllis aside. What was that all about? He asks, concern etching his features. I'm just looking out for you. Phyllis responds, her voice low and intense. You deserve to know the truth about Sharon. Which truth? Nick counters, frustration bubbling beneath the surface. The one where you constantly interfere in my life. Or the one where you can't seem to accept that Sharon and I are trying to make things work. Phyllis rolls her eyes. You really think this is about you and Sharon? It's about me wanting you to see what you're getting into. As they argue, Sharon approaches, overhearing the heated exchange. Phyllis, you need to let Nick make his own decisions. She interjects, her eyes flashing with determination. Oh, and you're one to talk about letting people make their own choices? Phyllis shoots back, her voice sharp. You've manipulated your way through every relationship you've ever had. The air crackles with tension, and for a moment, it feels like a full-blown showdown is imminent. But then Nick steps between them, his hands raised. Enough. This isn't the way to handle things. The confrontation forces both women to reflect on their motivations. Phyllis begins to realize that her deep-seated need for control stems from insecurities that have haunted her for years. It's not just about Nick, it's about her fear of being alone and overlooked. Meanwhile, Sharon's protective instincts kick in. She understands the importance of standing her ground. But she also recognizes that responding to Phyllis with hostility only fuels the fire. That night, after the dust settles, both women find themselves grappling with their feelings. In a quiet moment, Sharon takes a step back and considers reaching out to Phyllis. Phyllis, she begins tentatively during a chance encounter at Crimson Lights. Maybe we need to find a way to coexist. For the sake of the people we care about. Phyllis's expression softens. You know, I'm not the villain I always come off as. I want to be seen. And maybe I'm afraid of losing Nick again. Sharon nods, understanding flickering in her eyes. We both lost a lot, but maybe we don't have to lose each other in the process. As the days turn into weeks, the tension between Phyllis and Sharon begins to ease. Their encounters become less about rivalry and more about mutual understanding. While both women remain fiercely protective of their loved ones, they realize that their conflict only serves to hurt everyone involved. In the end, the question of whether Phyllis will go after Sharon transforms into a deeper exploration of their shared vulnerabilities. Instead of allowing animosity to define their relationship, they choose a fragile truce, acknowledging that in the unpredictable world of Geno City, there is always room for unexpected alliances. As they navigate the complexities of their lives, Phyllis and Sharon learn that sometimes the fiercest battles can lead to unexpected camaraderie, and while the future remains uncertain, they discover strength in their resilience. Together,